Facebook group marketing. One of the most powerful ways to market on Facebook is through its group feature. Considering what's been going on with Facebook's algorithm for its Facebook pages, it's a good idea to have your own Facebook group as a backup. Although Facebook has been cutting back on the organic traffic it sends Facebook pages, it's still worth it to have a page because you get audience insights from it. Another great benefit of having a page is the fact that you can copy and paste content from that page to Facebook groups. When people see your content in a group, they not only see the content, but they can also see a like button. When they click that like button, you get a new Facebook page fan. The key benefit of having a Facebook group lies in visibility. Facebook has made it clear that they are tweaking their Facebook page to reward actual engagement. Apparently, Facebook groups are not as suppressed as Facebook pages. In terms of visibility, you stand to reach more of your group members than with the page. The problem with Facebook groups. While the visibility for a lot of people is quite good for Facebook groups, it depends on activity. If the individual group member is not all that active in your group, maybe the person isn't liking or commenting, they're not going to get as many notifications on their Facebook update section than somebody who is active. This is a big drawback. The vast majority of people who would join your own Facebook group are not going to be active. They're just there to read information. They're just there to sit back and check out what you have to offer. Here's how you promote using your own FB group. Create your own groups after your pages mature. The first thing that you need to know is that you should put up your Facebook group only after your page is matured. You want to know who your audience is on Facebook. You're not going to know that until you have a page up. Pay attention to the audience insights. The data set that you would get from that analytics portion of your Facebook management dashboard will let you know who to target. Once you have enough users, and this depends on your niche, you should then put up your group. Your group must be as identical as possible to your page. If you have a logo, put the same logo there. If you have some sort of motto, put the same motto or slogan there. The key here is to use your Facebook group as an extension of the brand that you're creating with your Facebook fan page. Give your group members a reason for coming back. This, of course, means original content or freshly curated content that you don't show on your Facebook fan page. You have to give people a reason for following you on as many different places on Facebook as possible. This, of course, boils down to premium content. Market to other groups. This is the most important part of Facebook group marketing, because if you were to just build your own group as a supplemental source of traffic for your page, you're probably not going to grow all that much. You have to go to other groups which have already done a good job attracting the eyeballs that you want to attract. There has to be a tight fit between these groups and your niche. Go to those places and become a credible poster. This means that you should refrain from just dumping the same content that you have on your page to these groups. Invest time in them to become a local expert or a credible authority. It doesn't take much. If you're the first person to always comment and your comments are always insightful or bring new information to the table, people sit up and pay attention. People can see that you are an asset to the community, and they are more likely to give you the benefit of the doubt when you share content that obviously comes from your page. Once you have established credibility, share your own page content. As I've mentioned above, these posts not only have content and your brand, but also a like button. This is a great way of getting page fans. Always engage. When people comment on what you post, reply. They might be haters, they might be critics, but it doesn't matter, reply anyway. This conditions the mind of your readers that you are approachable, accessible, and you actually want to help people out. If you just drop a link and take off immediately, you're a spammer. You're not a community member. You're obviously not somebody who's there to add to people's knowledge and bring value to their lives. My most important tip: after sharing high-quality third-party content that you do not share on your page in groups, pay close attention to your page's audience insight. Find your most popular piece of content. Look for third-party content that is similar to that and see if you get a lot of positive engagement when you share that material. If this pans out, then use content from your site that fits the same themes as the tried and proven popular content on the Facebook groups that you're in, and use those to get page likes. Influencer page outreach. Influencer page outreach really boils down to creating allies. In your niche, you are sure to have competitors. However, some of these competitors are open to cooperating with you. Many will not give you the time of day, but there are few who would see the strategic advantage of partnering up instead of competing. There are also other people on Facebook who have pages and who are not competitors with you. They may even have a lot of fans. Here's how you build alliances with influence leaders on FB. Step number 1, find competitors. The first thing that you need to do is look at your notes when you reverse engineered your competitors. These people are in the same niche as you. After all, you study them to get to the industry standard content strategy as well as page layout and design for your own Facebook page. Next, you should look for non-competitors who specialize in your niche. There should be quite a few of these. These are not merchants or ones who provide services. They're not competing for the same dollars as you. Instead, they cater to the same audience as you. Try to find as many of these as possible. Step number 2, pay your dues by engaging. I know at this point it's very tempting to just go to a competitor's page and post a comment on one of their posts. In the comment, you're dropping a link to your page or to your website. You then repeat this many times on all their posts. Well, let me tell you, if you do this, you're going to get banned. Whatever links you put up will get deleted. It's a waste of time. Don't even think about it. The same applies to influential niche observers. These are non-competitors, but you shouldn't spam them either. Instead, you should pay your dues by engaging. How do you do this? First, you need to share high-quality content. It doesn't matter who wrote the content. It doesn't matter where that content goes to or links to. What's important is that it provides maximum value to anybody reading that content. It has to be on point. It has to deal with a specific theme or topic that you know that your target audience members are interested in. Next, you need to engage with people in terms of answering their questions. Try to be a facilitator. Try to be a mediator. Try to be the go-to source of information for your niche. If people are looking for statistics, go on Google and find them the statistics they're looking for. If they're looking for a video, go to YouTube and search for the content that they're looking for. The more you do this, the more people will pay attention to you because, let's face it, in any kind of online group communication platform, only a very few people actually produce high-quality content. You can count them on one hand most of the time. Everybody else is basically a leech. They take and take information, but they only give from time to time, if at all. Be that expert. Be that go-to resource. Another way you can engage is by asking questions. Now, these questions should not be very basic or dumb questions. Instead, they should be deep, insightful questions. You can also ask questions that try to tie many issues together. Many people are concerned about many different issues. When you ask questions that tie all these together, it can be very useful. You should also give feedback to people's responses. You have to do this in a respectful way. You cannot come off as a hater or somebody who's just plain negative. There is such a thing as constructive feedback. Remember, the name of the game here is to add value to the places that you're on. This means sharing information and enhancing information through proper questions and feedback. Step number 3, become credible, then reach out. At a certain point, people will start asking for you by name. People will try to reach out to you via Messenger. That's when you know that you have become an asset to these groups. That's when you know that you are on people's radars. You're not just this random person showing up every once in a while dropping a link. Instead, you're that person that helps keep these groups together. This is when you reach out. This is when you try to engage with the group admin. Usually, the best way to do this is when they engage with you. Maybe they mention your name, or they send you a message on Messenger. Whatever the case may be, try to wait for them, or reach a high enough level of engagement and acknowledgement from other community members before you reach out. What are you going to be reaching out for? Well, there are many different opportunities on the table. You can ask to swap content with your page. Most page admins don't have a problem with this. You can also ask for a shout-out. Basically, the admin of the page that you're on will tell page fans to check out your page because your page is a friend of the page they run. You can go through some ideas regarding joint events. Now, please keep in mind that this is not like a real event where people have to physically go somewhere, or you have to rent out some hall, rent out security, or get food. No. This is an online event. Maybe a seminar, a live Facebook session conducted from 2 locations, or it can be an interview. Another opportunity on the table is, of course, guest blogging. You probably don't need me to remind you of how value-packed this is. Not only do you get eyeballs to your link, which can produce direct traffic, but you also get tremendous search engine optimization benefits if the partner has a high-value blog. You can also reach out for infographics. This means you create an infographic and you get the admin to post the infographic on their blog with a link back to you. Again, this boosts your SEO chances. Finally, you can collaborate on content. This is custom content intended for both your audiences. Regardless of how you cut it, influencer page outreach is a very powerful way to market on Facebook for absolutely free. Seriously, your only investment is your time. And what makes it so awesome is the fact that you are leveraging the hard-won credibility and authority of your partner. They've been there before. They put in the work and the time to develop a rapport and a solid brand with the people that follow them. When they give you a shout-out or they feature your content, or they co-host an event with you, they lend you some of their fame, which makes you credible. You're no longer some random stranger who came out of nowhere. Instead, people get this idea in their minds that if somebody they respect and admire recommends a new person, then I'll give that new person a shot. Maybe that new person is worthy of my admiration and respect. Building alliances with influential niche players is definitely worth doing. But please keep in mind that it does take time. However, if you are passionate about your niche and you view your Facebook marketing business as a real business, then this should not be a problem for you. Paid traffic campaigns. For this section, I'm defining paid traffic campaigns in two forms. I can pay to boost the post, or I can pay for direct traffic to my target website. Please note that I have presented this information in that order. Boost posts first, and then pay for direct traffic. There's a reason for this. If you don't master Facebook's traffic to your page posts, then it doesn't make sense to go directly to your target website. You probably are going to spend a tremendous amount of money, time, and effort only to have very little to show for all that. It's better to boost a post in a strategic way so you can understand what kind of content connects with your intended audience. You will then be able to drive traffic to your website. You're actually killing several birds with one stone. By focusing on boosting a post, you can get more page likes, you can get more branding opportunities, and you can also get click-throughs to your target website in the form of a content link. Here's how it works. Post boosts. First, target a lookalike audience based on your user insight demographic. In other words, Facebook is going to show your ad to a fresh set of users who share the same demographic details and interests as your current page fans. People with these similarities are more likely to like your content. You're not going to pay Facebook to show your post to people who have already liked your page. Instead, you are trying to get fresh eyeballs to your page posts. You do run quite a bit of risk. Existing audience post boosts. The next option you have available to you is to boost your post to people who have actually liked your page. These are your actual page fans. They know roughly what you're about. They like your content enough to like your page. They're expecting your content. Unfortunately, like I said earlier, Facebook only shows your content to a small fraction of people who liked your content. Unless your fans select see first when they like your page, Facebook will use its natural algorithm to select the initial group of eyeballs that will show your page content. If enough people engage with your content, then Facebook will show even more of your page fans to your content. However, it's never going to show it to 100% of your fans. That rarely happens. This is why it's a good idea to boost your post to reach more of the people who have liked your page. The upside to this is these are not virgins. They've seen your page. In fact, they've seen it and liked it so much that they have clicked the like button and want to see your content. At least you know that there is some sort of interest there. Still, please understand that while there is a certain degree of familiarity there, and this increases the chance that these people will actually engage with your content and possibly click through to your target site, that isn't exactly guaranteed. Existing audience plus their friends. As the old saying goes, birds of a feather flock together. Friends usually have shared interests. In fact, if you think about it hard enough, that's the main reason we became friends in the first place. We have certain interests in common. We have certain things to talk about, and that's why we're friends. Makes a lot of sense, right? Well, you can apply that to Facebook marketing as well, because this can produce a tremendous amount of marketing opportunities. Since your page fans also have friends on Facebook, You can buy a post boost that shows your ad not only to your fans, but to their friends as well. This is my favorite when it comes to post boosts because it is a cheap way of getting clicks to your target site. You reach a much wider audience. Please understand that if your page has a fairly small number of likes, even if you boost post after post, you only have a small base to work with. Now, if you expand that base by including your existing audience plus their friends, you have a lot more people to work with. You are operating with some level of confidence because you know that friends usually have shared interests. This translates to possibly cheap clicks to your target site. The best way to do this is to post a link directly to your content or to your promotional page on your website with some content. This way, when someone clicks through, they go straight to your website. They can read your commentary and some preview text, but the text should call them to action. This is the cleanest way to get direct traffic cheaply using post boosts targeting your existing audience and their friends. Direct traffic to your target site. The next option is to promote a target URL directly. It doesn't show a post from your page. It just goes directly to your target website paired with a picture. This is the direct traffic option on Facebook. To become successful with this, you have to use the lookalike audience based on your engaged users' insight data. In other words, your Facebook page should be mature enough for you to get solid consumer intelligence that you can then use to target potentially interested audiences on Facebook. That's the best way to do this. There are other ways. You can run raw targeting. Basically, you're not relying on user insight. Instead, you're just looking for an age range and a geographic location. You're also using gender. In certain situations, this may pay off. In fact, you may get better results than lookalike audiences, but generally speaking, you should focus on using the consumer intelligence your Facebook page gathered so you can reach people who are very similar to people you know have demonstrated a solid interest in whatever it is you're promoting. Best practices. Use them to boost your results. First, run small tests. This enables you to fail quickly. People who really know their way around Facebook run campaign after campaign after campaign until they're able to connect the dots and come up with a campaign that actually works. This is why you need to run small, cheap tests so you can easily see which campaigns are working out and which ones have failed. Next, make sure your budget is low. Usually, when I run a $1 campaign, that is good enough for me. $1 a day for 7 days a week, that is good enough for me to see if an ad has potential. So, I would run several ads. We're talking about $70 for 10 ads running at the same time. Third, focus on what works. Let me tell you, when you run many small tests, the winners stand out. Either they get clicks or not. That's the bottom line. However, at this stage, you're not just looking for clicks. You're not just looking for an ad campaign that gets a lot of attention. Instead, you're also going to look for an ad campaign that actually delivers conversions. You're going to have to set up your Facebook pixel to your target website so you can track whether traffic from Facebook went all the way through. I'm not just talking about traffic produced when people click on your link and they go to a content page and they leave. That's worthless. That's not going to help you. That traffic has to go to the content page, go to the sales page, and eventually make it to the shopping cart. That's when you know your campaign actually has traction. Focus on what works. Focus on what gets a high click-through rate paired with a conversion rate. However, to get there, you're going to have to burn through many ads. This is not going to jump out at you. It's not going to be obvious. It's not going to be easy. Once you have identified that ad and you've fine-tuned it, then scale it up. That's how this works. Basically, you focus on what works and then pour real money into it.